Okay, so I've laser engraved the skull and crossbones onto both sides of the pewter cast molds here, and it's worked out really, really nicely. And what I also realised here as well is that if I want to make these into charms to put onto a bracelet or earrings, or in this case I'm going to make them into a charm that I can attach with a little lobster claw. Here's my lobster claw. Onto anything I want. So I could add this onto a bracelet, or I could add this onto a keychain or whatever. So it makes it quite versatile. And in order to be able to take advantage of this, I needed to drill a hole. So I went ahead and did this. And I did it while these castings were still in the mold, because it occurred to me that if I remove these from the mold and cut off the sprue here, then actually it's quite a small little component to then hold in my fingers when I'm drilling a hole in a pillar drill, or to then kind of clamp into a vise. It might damage the pewter here, so that was my thinking. So I thought that was quite a good idea. Also, what I've done here as well is I've drilled two slightly different holes. On the left here, this is a 1.5mm diameter hole, which I like the look of. It's nice and neat, but I'm wondering whether it's going to be the right size for me to put through one of these metal loops. On the right hand side here I've got a 2mm hole, which looks a bit on the big side but might give me a few more options. So I will see how that goes when I come to actually add in my lobster claw and my loop. Okay, now this side here I've not removed the mark solid spray yet, so I'm just going to wipe that off now. I can give it a bit more of a wipe later if necessary. So that's looking good. So let's have a see. I'm going to now remove these from the mold, and this will destroy the mold. So I've got to make sure that I'm completely happy with my polishing, with my mark solid engraving here, and with the drilling of the holes and anything else that I want to do before I break the mold. There's no going back once I've broken the mold here. So I think I'm there. Here we go. And I will literally have to completely break this off. Now it's interesting here that I've got some very small little gaps here between these bones. It's interesting to see that it's not really pulling away all the card there, so I'm going to have to come up with a solution to get rid of the card that's stuck in the middle there. It's proving to be quite tough here in the middle. I could continue to work that, but actually I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some side cutters here, and I think just carefully close to the skull there, but not so close that I'm going to damage my actual finished part. Can I just trim that off? There we go. That's nice, that's broken away. I'm happy with that. It's right on the edge there actually, that was quite close. And then over here, let's try the same thing. I might do that a little bit further away this time, just to be on the safe side. Yeah, and that way, look, that middle part of the mold there is just broken away. And this sprue here, what I'm going to do with this is just try and remove the mark solid spray so there's no impurities, and then I'm going to pop that back in the top of the pewter casting machine, and we can remelt it and we can recast with it. So that looks great. Okay, right, these are looking really nice, but you can see there's still a little bit of metal to file away on the edge here in a few places. So what I'm going to do, and of course there's the card in here as well, what I'm going to do here is use a needle file to just file back any of the metal that I don't want and try and get a nice clean edge. And what I'm going to do as well is get a thumbtack. Okay, look for the thumbtack. Okay, well I have some thumbtacks like this. Ah, no, that's what I want. I don't want these metal thumbtacks here. I'm thinking about thumbtack with a plastic head here, because it's going to allow me to get a better purchase, and maybe I can just slide that in there and just use it to push out the piece of card. You can see a bit of the card there, perhaps it's just broken away. Can I just push that out there with that thumbtack? Okay, it's slowly getting there. I'm probably going to have to just work that a little bit more. You can see some of the card is starting to come out. So I'm going to work that, and I'm going to file the excess metal off down to a nice clean finish. And I'll pause the video while I do that, and then we'll see where we stand. I am just starting the capture again here. I've not actually filed the metal back yet because I was just finishing removing this card, and it occurred to me that you could easily stab yourself, so I'm wearing goggles at the moment. I potentially could wear gloves just to stop me from stopping myself, but the most important thing here is that I'm doing this away from myself. I'm not kind of pushing through into my finger like this. I think that would be a recipe for disaster. And I'm just working it through. Yeah, it has come out there. So that's actually both. I don't know if you can see that there. Might focus. Is that focusing? Maybe. But you can see I've actually managed to get the card, there we are, out between the crossbones. And this one still has the card in there. There we are, it's kind of focusing there, isn't it? This kind of struggling with the things in the background there, maybe if I do that. Yeah. Anyway, you get the idea. Right, I'll pause and I'll keep doing this, file it up, and then we see where we stand. Okay, so there we go. I filed off the excess metal and removed the card that was between the crossbones there. And something has occurred here which I should have been more cautious of, and I want to just highlight it so hopefully you don't make potentially the same mistake. What I need to do is make sure that you can see these two. I've just washed my hands, which is why they're a bit wet here, because I had some metal filings, not iron filings, pewter filings on my hand. But what I want to highlight here, if this will please focus, is the fact that, there we go, is the fact that what I've done here is I've filed a little bit too much off this top edge here, and you can see that hopefully you can see there, that black pixel edge at the top of the skull is not perfectly flat. I've filed it a bit too much on this side, and this one here, it's not quite so bad, but it's almost the same problem. There we are. And I was trying to get a really clean edge at the top there. So with hindsight, what potentially I should have done here actually is made the top of the design here, actually made the skull a little bit taller. So what I'm going to do is try and explain that to you right now in 2D design very briefly. So let's just come back to, which one do I want? I want to come back to this one here. Let's just zoom in on this. No, on here. I'll zoom in on here. There we go. This is the one. And what I'm suggesting I should have done here is taken this top edge, taken the shape, should I say, go to Start Edit. Now, if I look at my step lock settings, what is this? Okay, this is 1mm. I'm going to go to a 0.5 millimeter. In fact, I only want it in the Y, don't I? 0.5 millimeter in the Y. And then what I'm going to do is bring this up just 0.5 millimeter. Okay. Now, if I just zoom out a bit there again, and I just select there and there those pixel art elements. Whoops, and I need to make sure, I've got a grid lock turned on there, otherwise they're not going to snap very easily. And I bring those back in again and then zoom back in on what I had. So this is what I'm after. I don't want this where the black pixel art goes up against the edge of the pewter casting. I actually want the pewter casting to be a little bit taller. So that means that what I can do, now how can I show this? If I come to shapes and I fill this in black, what I want to do basically is, and step lock, is when I file, I want to file down, 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 down. I want to file off that excess piece of metal just there so that I get the clean edge. And I was finding that when I was working on this piece here, the sprue, this is the sprue here, and this was just the edge of the design. And to get rid of the sprue completely, I had to kind of file, let's just try and show that again, I had to kind of file not down to that level but literally into it a little bit, and that thinned that top edge of the pixel art. So just thinking things through there, with hindsight, that's what I would do. Anyway, I'm here right now. What I'm going to do next, just to finish this video, I'm just going to get some of these metal loops. Let's have a see. I'm going to perhaps go with this size right here. Okay, 1, 2. Is that the same size? Yeah, that looks good to me. Let's not hold that one. No, it's fine. Okay, let's close that up before it falls over and all the little loops go everywhere. Let's get some thin nose pliers. What I'm going to do here, I've actually got 2 in case I need to, but hopefully I can just grab this with 1 thin nose plier. I can prise that open Now this is the one that's got, I'll do the 2mm first. This is the 2mm hole. Make it a little bit wider. Can you see that? I hope you can. Feed that through there, close it up, and then this is where I might need my second thin nose plier, because I can just pinch that up there, and what I'm trying to get, come on focus, is just that loop there to just close it nice and neatly. Now that's not that strong, that would pull open very, very easily. In fact, I am daft, aren't I? Because what I've neglected to do here is put the lobster claw in. Ay. Let's try that one again. Okay, there we are. So that's got my lobster claw in place. There it is. Yeah, that's going to break open very easily. So what I'll do in the last video is I will look at soldering that metal loop together. Let's just look at this one. So I'm going to just try and get the metal loop here. I'm going to try and find where it opens. It's all a bit fiddly, this. Okay, hold it with thin nose pliers. Open that side up. This is the 1.5. How does this work? And you know what, that works really well. I unnecessarily worried. There we go. So, yeah, I'm definitely liking there. That's nice, it's focusing nicely there. Good. I'm definitely liking the one on the left, which is the 1.5 compared to the 2mm on the right. So, yeah, 1.5mm for the hole, for the twist drill. That's perfect. Okay, I'm stopping here, and I'm going to solder these little loops together. And of course, I need to get another lobster claw and put it on there, don't I? Well, I'll do it outside the video. Okay.